Hello everyone, this is Ankit. In this video, I will take one topic related to productivity, that is single tasking in the world of multitasking. We will discuss about multitasking and single tasking in this video. So, before we understand single tasking, let's start with a question. Why has why has multitasking become so popular in our modern life? Think about it. People often try to do many things at the same time, working while checking messages, studying while watching videos, listening to something while scrolling on the phone. In fact, multitasking is often seen as a valuable skill. It is associated with it is associated with productivity, efficiency, and sometimes even with intelligence. But how did this idea become so strong? See, there are several reasons behind this trend. First, nature of modern life has changed. Firstly, the nature of modern life has changed. We are surrounded by multiple and even innumerable inputs in the world, such as emails, notifications, social media, work demands, etc. Everything is happening at the same time. As a result, people feel the need to handle everything simultaneously. Second, the technology encourages multitasking. A smartphone, which everyone has these days, in particular, allow us to switch bit, allow us to switch between tasks very quickly. Within seconds, we can move from work to entertainment, from conversation to information. This creates the illusion that we are being highly productive. Third, there is a psychological factor. Many people feel busy when they are doing multiple things, and being busy often feels like being productive. But these two are not always same. These both are entirely different. Now let's see what are the benefits of multitasking. Because to be fair, multitasking is not completely useless. In many situations, it is helpful. For example, if you are doing a simple and routine task like cleaning your house, you may be able to combine it with another activity. For example, cleaning seems boring to some people, but at the same time, if you listen to your favorite songs, you can end up cleaning without feeling even a bit of boredom. So, this way, combining multiple work or multiple tasking is really helpful. Similarly, when you are walking, you can listen to your favorite podcast as well. Or while you are doing household chores, you can also think about some ideas. In such cases, multitasking can save your time. It can make routine tasks feel less boring, and sometimes it can even increase your efficiency because you are completing several tasks or more than one tasks in any particular time frame. So the idea of multitasking is not entirely wrong. Now let's see what is the problem with this idea of multitasking. There is a major limitation. Our brain is not designed to focus deeply on multiple complex multiple tasks at once. What we call multitasking is often not true multitasking. It is actually rapid task switching. You switch from one task to another to some other task in a rapid manner, and you feel like you are doing multiple tasks at the same time. But actually, you are just switching your focus. This way, the brain moves quickly from one task to another, back and forth, again and again. And every time your brain switch from one task to another task, there is a cost. This is called attention residue. It means your attention is still remaining to the previous task. Part of your mind remains stuck in the previous task. As a result, your focus reduces, errors increase, and mental fatigue build up. And moreover, you feel even more tired even after doing less work. This habit of constant switching can make it harder to concentrate deeply on any task after a long period of time. And due to this phenomenon, single tasking becomes important. Now let's understand what is single tasking. Single tasking means doing one task at a time. That is its literal meaning. With full attention, undivided focus, without switching back and forth to some other task, without distractions, and doing just one task fully. But in today's world, it is a somewhat rare skill because in modern life, distractions are everywhere. Notifications interrupt us, information overload overwhelm us, and attention is constantly divided. In such an environment, the ability to focus on one thing becomes extremely valuable. Single tasking helps you in thinking clearly, understanding some subject matter at hand deeply, and performing in your task or your business in better way. Whenever you focus on one task, your mind goes into a deeper level of processing. You are not just reacting, you are actually understanding. And this is very important for learning, problem solving, and creative work. Deep work requires your undivided attention, and single tasking makes that possible. Now let's look into benefits of multitasking. No, let's look into the benefit of single tasking. There are some key benefits. As we have already discussed, first one is better focus. When you remove distractions, your mind becomes more stable and you can stay with one idea, one task for a longer time. Second, higher quality work. Single tasking improves accuracy and clarity. You make fewer mistakes and your work becomes more refined. Your learning becomes deeper. Third point, single tasking reduces your stress and tiredness because constant switching between tasks creates mental pressure, and single tasking removes or even reduces to large extent that pressure. It gives you a sense of calm and control. And in many cases, single tasking leads to faster completion of assigned task or work. This may sound surprising to you. This may sound surprising to you, but focusing on one task often helps you complete it faster because you don't lose time in switching and your mental space is not unnecessarily blocked due to residue of attention. Fifth point, it trains your mind to stay focused. That makes stronger mental discipline because focus is most valuable skills in modern times. Because you see, every other person is scrolling reels, watching movies, binge watching on web series, and getting distracted every other minute due to never ending notifications, memes, videos, messages, etc. Therefore, it is most valuable skill. Let's take a practical example. Assume some student is studying for his exam, but at the same time, he has kept his phone with him. And whenever any notification comes, he checks the phone. When his friend sends some memes, when YouTube gave him some notification, he checks everything. So therefore, his study is getting interrupted every 5 to 10 minutes. Now, even if he study for 5 hours in this way, it is worse than it is worse than focused and undistracted study of 2 hours because as much the person gets distracted his focus reduces, his efficiency reduces, and that students learning and memorizing everything gets impacted. Now compare it with single tasking because some other student if some other student does 1 hour of focused study, then takes break of 15 minutes, he checks his phones. Again thereafter, he study 1 hour undistracted. This way, the output of second student, his learning, his skill will be much better than first one. Now let's see some drawbacks of single tasking as well because single tasking is powerful but it is not perfect. It also has some limitations because everything has limitation. First point, single tasking is not always practical. In real life, some situations requires you to handle multiple responsibilities. You cannot always do only one thing. For example, if you are working in corporate and if you are given certain task, but at the same time you are also supposed to attend to phone call. If anyone calls you, any superior calls you, in that case you cannot do single tasking. During any work, if some superior calls you, you have to respond to them. This way it is not practical. There are several circumstances. Second point, single tasking can feel you slow initially because people who are used to multitasking may feel that single tasking is slow because they are doing only one thing at once. They feel like they are missing out on something like FOMO, fear of missing out. Third point, single tasking requires discipline. It is not automatic, and in the modern times, it will not work in auto mode because we have been prone to so much distractions. Therefore, it requires conscious effort. You have to resist distractions, and this is surely not easy. Next point, single tasking is not required for simple task. For very simple or repetitive task, single tasking is of course not required. In those cases, multiple simple work may be done together. For example, you are traveling and at the same time you are listening to songs and reading some novel. So this is good example of multitasking and is spending time wisely. Now let's see overall what is the balance? What is the right approach between multitasking and single tasking? So its answer is balance. Use multitasking for simple tasks and routine activities where if you make even some mistakes it will not have much impact, but use single tasking for important work, critical work where single error can cause much loss. Deep thinking when you are thinking on some idea, trying to solve some problem, and learning and creativity. This combination of using both single tasking and multitasking wisely allows you to be more effective and more efficient. Let's quickly summarize what we have learned so far. Multitasking became popular due to technology, fast paced life, and the illusion of productivity. It has some benefits. It has some benefits, especially for simple tasks, but it also has serious limitations. It reduces focus, it increases errors, and it creates mental fatigue and more tiredness lethargy. Single tasking, on the other hand, helps you in focus deeply, work more effectively, think more clearly, and at the same time, you don't feel much tired because you are utilizing energy very efficiently. But for single tasking, you need discipline, and it is not useful for every situation. So you have to be mindful about it, where to use it, where not to use it. So the key is not to reject single or multitasking completely. The key is to use each method appropriately. So, in a world full of distractions, the ability to focus on one thing is becoming a superpower. And those who develop this skill will always have an advantage. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video, and thank you so much for watching the video till the end. Please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share this video with your friends. And if you want that I make a video on certain topic, do comment that topic. I will see it and make video on some interesting topics. Thank you. See you soon in next video.